G'day guys, I hope you're doing awesome, having a great day. I'm going to be doing a film review this afternoon. Now, surprise, surprise, it's a horror film, but it's an Australian horror film, so they don't come around that often. So, yeah, this is made in 2005, directed by Greg McLean, and that is Wolf Creek. This is a 2-disc special edition, Australian release, 2 discs. Really good edition to get. There's, on the bonus features, there's audio commentary with the director and cast, the making of, deleted scenes, and an interview with John Jarratt, who plays the bad guy in the film. Really good, really interesting interview, that one. So anyway, Wolf Creek. This is set in Western Australia, in Broome, which is a city at the top of Western Australia. Bit of trivia. The actual film is set in Western Australia, but it's shot in South Australia, so there's something that you may not have been aware of. Anyway, so yeah, it starts off in Broome, which is in Western Australia. 3 backpackers. Now there's Nathan Phillips, who plays the male backpacker, who's Australian in the film, and there's 2 British backpackers, played by Kirsty Marassi and Cassandra McGrath. Now these 2 females play British in the film, but they are in fact Australian, so they use fake British accents, which I thought they did a really good job because they come across as authentic British citizens. So anyway, these 3 backpackers, they're planning to leave Broome and head up to Darwin, which is a city in Northern Territory, right at the top of Australia. And so, yeah, it's a long car trip, and they're using a pretty dodgy car. So, that's pretty brave. If I was travelling through the Outback, I'd want a pretty good car. But anyway, they've chosen to go with this pretty dodgy car. And along the way, they stop at the Wolf Creek National Park, which is a tourist attraction. And so they stop at this park and they go and see the sights. And they leave the car, and 3 hours later they come back and they realise that the car is dead. It won't start, it's completely gone. So they don't know what to do, but they're going to have to spend the night in this car and figure out what to do in the morning. But in the middle of the evening, a truck approaches them, and out comes this very colourful character named Mick. And he's an Outback kind of guy. Kind of reminds me of Crocodile Dundee, but he's a very colourful character. He jokes around a lot, and he offers to help them out. He says that he can tow their car back to his camp and fix the car overnight and have them back on the road by the morning. So that's the plan, and these backpackers are left with no other options, so they take up his offer, and he tows them back to the camp, which takes a few hours, and they're a bit freaked out because it's a bit longer than he said. This camp is a long, long way away. But yeah, the main character Ben, he tells them just to be cool. It's all right. He said it'd be a bit of a drive, and he's going to fix our car. So they finally get to the camp, and they sit around the fire, and they start talking to Mick to get to know a bit more about him. And he starts playing around with them, joking around, but it starts getting a little bit creepy, and um, he freaks Ben out a bit. But he said it's all a joke, and they don't think anything bad of it. I mean, this guy's offered to fix their car, and that's what they're expecting to have done. So they fall asleep at this campsite around this fire with the intention of getting back on the road by the morning. Uh, but Mick has different plans, and they do not involve these 3 backpackers leaving. And that's pretty much as far as I'll go with the story. Now, a lot of people have criticised this film about the slow start. Now, I actually really like the start. It set the whole movie up for me. It's a very realistic feel to the film. It's a sort of handheld camera feel. So that's what the director wanted to go with, and I think it really pays off. The first half of the film is basically a documentary type feel to it. You get to know about the characters, and they're very real characters. Like the main character Ben, he's young and he's very cocky and arrogant, but while he has qualities about him that aren't so good, he does have likable qualities, and you can understand why these 2 British women would like this guy and choose to travel with him. So there's no characters in this film that you just hope die. The whole build-up pretty much gives you character development, and you feel sorry for these people once they get into the company of this madman. The 2 lead British women who the Australians. They were very sweet, and you really didn't want anything bad happening to them. And so, yeah, the purpose of the build up was to get to know a bit more about these characters and feel for them when the nasty stuff starts happening. And I think the director really nailed it there. The setting for a horror film, the Outback, is perfect. It is such a huge place that no one will know you're missing. You just can't escape the bad guy and just run away because you know where you're going to go without a car. Um, this and the ocean, like films like Open Water, I mean the ocean and the Outback share a lot of similarities, obviously different, but they're just so big and so powerful, and that you're just a tiny little ant compared to them. I mean, you can get lost in the Outback or the ocean so easily. So I reckon the Outback is one of the best settings for a horror film, and he uses it perfectly. The camera shots of the Outback are beautiful, the scenery is amazing, and it just shows you how tiny you are compared to the Outback. And, yeah. So the Mick Taylor, the bad guy played by John Jarratt, uses this Outback as his hunting ground, and he plays these really sadistic kind of games. Uh, the story itself is not actually a true story, but there are elements to the story that are true, such as the methods used to kill these backpackers. Now, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but you pretty much get told what happens in the film on the back. But yeah, this is based on true methods. So one in particular is the head on a stick, which was a method used by real life serial killer Ivan Milat. Now, Ivan Milat terrorized backpackers on the highway in New South Wales, and he would use the head on a stick method, so they couldn't get away. I'm not going to give away head on a stick. You're going to have to watch it to find out, but I will tell you it is very shocking, very, very brutal. I mean, really, really brutal. The actual film has more of an impact for Australian viewers who know about these sadistic serial killers who did things like Mick does in this film. And yeah, there is actually a sequel to the film too, which I'm really looking forward to. It's supposed to be more horrifying and more shocking, so can't wait for that one. It's the same director and the same bad guy in it too, so really looking forward to that one. But yes, it's not excessive in its gore and violence, but when the violence does hit you, it hits you very hard. It's very realistic, very brutal. This is one nasty film. The first half of it is just a documentary, a feel-good sort of movie. They're playing around, they're joking around. There's even a love interest between one of the backpackers and the guy. And then they meet Mick, and then the second half of the film is just completely different. It is just one sadistic film. There are a few scenes where you think, oh, that character shouldn't have done that. That was a bit stupid. But films like this, if you have the characters acting sensible 100% of the time, the film's going to last for about 10 minutes. So you've got to forgive that kind of stuff with a movie. Yeah, but the acting, as I said, John Jarratt, who plays Mick Taylor, one of the best villains, um, in my opinion. Really likable, but very insane at the same time. You can tell why someone would trust this guy, because he's kind of like a Crocodile Dundee gone bad. So yeah, highly, highly recommended. Australian horror is good. Australian horror is few and far between. This one really hit the nail on the head for me. One of my favourite horror films. Definitely check this one out. Highly recommended. So yeah, that's my review for this awesome Australian horror film. Hope you enjoyed it, and I think it's about time I left. So until next time, have an awesome day, dudes. Bye.